If you can't sell yourself effectively, others won't be able to see your value clearly. And the onus is on you to be able to sell yourself and your ideas effectively. Now, there are three biggest mistakes that I see professionals make when they're trying to sell themselves and to sell their ideas. The first mistake is that they try to talk about what they do because they don't know who they are. Now, if the more you talk about what you do and you sell what you do, you make yourself a commodity. Because think about it, how many other people do what you do? Or how many other people do something very similar? So the more you talk about what you do, the less you're able to sell, because now the people you're trying to sell to can't really differentiate you from somebody else. So that's the first mistake. The second biggest mistake I see people make is they try to be convincing. People hate to be convinced. Have you ever noticed that? The minute you try to convince them, their shields go up, they lean back, and their eyes glaze over. People don't like to be convinced, so stop trying to convince them. Allow them to make their own decisions and come to their own conclusions, but you orchestrate that conversation. And the third biggest mistake I see people make when they're trying to sell themselves is that they sell their credentials because that's what they were taught. In formal education, we were taught that having credentials is the most important thing, that it is prestigious, and that people like others with credentials. And that's why, because of what we've been programmed to do, we try to sell our credentials. But once again, think about that. How many other people have similar credentials as you? You have a master's degree. How many other people have a master's degree? You have so-and-so certification. How many others can pay some money and get the same certification? It's not about your credentials. The more you try to sell your credentials and the more you try to talk about what you do and sell what you do, the more you position yourself as a commodity, just like everybody else. In the sales world, trying to sell your idea and trying to sell yourself, the most important thing is for you to know who you are and to be able to articulate how you're different so that you can increase the perceived value of what you have to offer.